bus. Thank you. So perhaps I'll just summarize the story a little bit, and then we can discuss maybe some relevance to our life. Maybe we can relate to it in some way. So, as we've heard, this brahmana was very, very wealthy. He had a lot of money. But because he wasn't in a reciprocation, he wasn't really following dharma, because dharma atta kama moksha, yeah? And then panchapurush atta bhakti. So, because he wasn't following dharma, whatever artha he had, then he lost it all, and then no calm, no enjoying. So, when all that money was gone, then he was rejected by his family. And many people, they may be very depressed if their family rejects them, but for this brahmana, it was a revelation. Just like we see in Bhagavad Gita, Vishada Yoga chapter 1, Arjuna was feeling dejected, but in a state of dejection, he was seeking, I need some higher guidance. So often, it's not until we've faced some crisis in our life, we want to see, what's going on? Who am I? What's this life really about? If we're very fortunate, then we can have this train of thought without so much suffering. But for many people, suffering has to come, and then they think, who is God? Why am I here? So he had some realization in his heart. Actually, losing all my money was a great blessing, because when you have a lot of money, then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he's saying these 15 things come when you're very, very wealthy. One, in your great labor of getting all this money, because it takes a lot of effort, and then fear comes. What if someone steals my money? How can I protect my money? So fear. And the next, anxiety, right? My money, my money. Money, 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 brighter than sunshine, sweeter than honey. People think like this. And delusion. I'll be wealthy and enjoy forever. Now they're working on transhumanism. You can upload your brain when you die to a computer, and then when they figure out somehow in the future, they can download your memories and you'll be alive again. But this is not Atma. This is only your samskara, only your memories. It's not you. This is only your memories. This is not your consciousness. This is not yourself. This is illusion. This is Maya. So, delusion. And then robbery, fear of people coming to steal my money. And then violence, you'll protect your money. All kinds of wars, many wars today, they're all business, actually. Lies, people will lie so much. Arrogance, lust, anger, people become angry. And here, wealth is not just money, it's not just gold. You may have some other quality that is a kind of wealth, and you become very protective, you become very arrogant over these kinds of... So wealth is not just actually money. Shock. The stock market crashed. Big shock. Pride. Yes, I'm very rich. And then quarreling. Enmity, like disliking other people. Distrust. Does this person just like me for my money? Competition. Illicit sex, gambling, and intoxication. Just like we see Yudhisthira Maharaj. Soon as he started gambling, he lost everything. Even his own wife, he gambled her away. So gambling, it corrupts your intelligence. And what do we see? In the middle of the town, India, Nepal, all these places, it used to be the mandir. And then the town would develop around the mandir. And what's the biggest thing in Auckland? Sky City, casino. And then the town is around. This is Kali Yuga. No good. So these 15 impediments, these 15 obstacles, they arise when there's a lot of wealth. And so now that this brahmana had lost all his wealth, he was free from these things. So this is like a burden actually to carry all this responsibility. And so now he was free. It's like Vishwas. He can breathe for the first time. And then with this human birth, It's very, very, very rare. It said even there's devatas up in the higher planet Swargaloka waiting to come back to earth to take birth as a human being, because here on earth you can get moksha, but higher planets you're just enjoying punya karma, and lower planets you're just suffering. But earth is where you make karma, as karma bhumi is where you make karma, but also where you can get out of karma. So it's very, very rare to obtain this human birth. But are we living like humans? Because another story in this book, you know Indra, king of heaven, yeah? One day he was cursed because he's always making stupid mistakes, because he's very wealthy, he's enjoying all, so he does stupid things, yeah? Because 15 obstacles come when you're very wealthy. So one day he was cursed to become a pig, a male hog. And so he was in his pig body, completely forgetting he was the king of heaven, and he was enjoying rolling in stool, eating the rotten food, and then the duration of his curse, it was ending. So Brahmaji, he came down on his swan carrier, and he took some water out of his kamandalu, and he said to Indra, "Oh, the duration of your curse is expired. You should come back to heaven." And then Indra, he said, "Is there any she-hogs in heaven? I like rolling in stool. I'm very comfortable." Because people become comfortable in their prison, in their suffering situation. And if you have some enjoyment, oh, very nice, I have 3 businesses and I'm enjoying, oh, I don't need to go to the mandir, I'm very happy. But very soon this karma will be finished. And then what? What do you have? Nothing. So, feeling some compassion for Indra Dev, Brahmaji, he sprinkled some water from his kamandalu onto the head of Indra in his pig body, and he became somewhat purified, and he realized, what am I doing here? I'm the king of heaven, and here I am wanting to stay like a pig rolling in stool. And so, but we are like that. We think, oh yeah, I'm okay, I'm comfortable, you know, I have a nice car. Oh, no, why do all these things worshipping the gods? That's what my forefathers done. They didn't have anything better to do. They couldn't go to Subway or whatever, you know. but this is just foolishness, because this karma will run out, and then what? So this human birth is very, very rare, and we should utilize this human birth to manifest our telos, our teleological purpose, and that is to serve Bhagavan. Not just to serve the senses, to serve the mind, to actually to serve God. That's why we are here. So, the Brahmana, he continues, oh, Lord Hari is most certainly pleased with me, because it says in the Krishna book, one sign of Krishna's mercy is he'll take everything away from you. And for many people, oh, that's shock, I'm not going to worship Krishna. But actually, he only does this if there's no other way. But if we already have some favorable mood towards Krishna, like Sudama Brahman, yeah? Sudama Brahman, he had nothing. All he had was chipped rice. And then he took that under his armpit to see Krishna in Dwarka, and he didn't even want to give that because he had praying, he had love for Krishna, and he only wanted to offer him the best thing. And then Krishna, being controlled by the love of his devotee, he, oh, what's that under your arm? And he just snatched it without even asking. And then he began to eat the chipped rice, a little bit salty from the sweat of the armpit of Sudama Brahman. And then Rukmini stopped him. If you eat more of that chipped rice, you'll have to give me to him, because Krishna will give everything. Patraputram phalam. You just have to offer Krishna a tulsi leaf, a flower, just a little water with love, and Bhagavan will take it. So Krishna's not coming to the yagyas of the brahmanas. Om Prajapati Vishnu Rishi Gayatri Sandra Swaha. But Krishna is coming to the house of the gopis, and he's stealing butter. Why? Because they have brain. Krishna is the thief of hearts, so he wants love. So you can give the simplest offering, but if you have love, Krishna is running, and Rukmini will check him all. What are you doing? You'll have to give everything. So there's like this with Sudama Brahman. So this Brahmana, he had some insight. Oh, this is great. I'm no longer burdened by the shackles of this material existence, by this material identity. It's a, it's a very heavy weight, this kind of psychological weight we carry with all of these material impressions in our consciousness. And then he remembers the pastime of Maharaj Katwanga. So Maharaj Katwanga, he was one warrior king, and he was fighting on behalf of the demigods. And then the demigods gave him a blessing, and then he said, oh, just tell me how long I have to live. And they said, you have one muhurta left to live. We regret to inform you. That's 48 minutes of your life. So imagine we tell you right now, you only have 48 minutes left to live. What will you do? What are you going to do? 48 minutes. Maharaj Pariksha, he had 7 days, but you only have 48 minutes. What will you do? Who will you phone? What will you do? Will you order some takeaway, your favorite pizza? What? Maharaj Katwanga, he said, oh, this is a great opportunity. I want to go to earth and I want to do bhajan. But he was up on the higher planets, so he requested the devatas, oh, send me back to earth. And traveling back to earth, to Burloka's earth plane, that took 24 minutes. So now he only had 24 minutes left to live. So in that 24 minutes, he became completely absorbed in Hari, in Bhagavan, in Krishna, and he attained perfection. So you can do it. 24 minutes, it's possible. But that's a very high level of surrender. For most of us, we have to practice many lifetimes, actually. So this Brahmana, he was remembering Maharaj Katwanga. He obtained perfection in 48 minutes. And so reflecting in this way, the Avanti Brahmana, he took sannyas, Tridandi sannyas, and he was wandering here and there begging. Oh, Bhavam Bhiksham Dehi, Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi. Taking alms. But one thing here, when you take to spiritual life, you'll really see who your friends are. Because most relationships, they're transactional. What can you do for me? What can I do for the other person? And it's like one contract. And if the contract is broken, oh, this person's no longer giving things to me, I'm not getting something from this, then they reject it. So this is transactional. It's not actually like a true friendship. So you can see in spiritual life, when you truly take to spiritual life, many of your materialistic friends, they may be disinterested. Why do you go to the temple? Why do you do all these things? Why don't you come to the pub? Friday night, happy hour. Why? This is not truly your friends. They just want to enjoy, and they're actually in a state of suffering, and they have to anesthetize, like take something to alleviate the suffering that they have in their mundane life. So you will see who your real friends are when you take to spiritual life, really. And so many people came to the sannyasi, and even adults were inciting children, oh, you should go and spit in his food. So many problems come, and we see great personalities, great gurus, so many obstacles will come. Like Jesus, he was crucified because one of our acharyas, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says, when the sat appears in the land of the asat, meaning when the truth appears in the realm of the untruth, this is Kali Yuga, the spiritual winter, and when the truth appears here, there's a big commotion because everyone is going very fast in the direction of the untruth. And when anyone turns in the other direction, oh, what are you doing? This is madness. Join us in illusion. So, but the sannyasi, he did not react to any of this because he realized this is all the reactions of my own karmas. If anyone gives some problem in your life, special delivery. This is actually our own problems that we've given to other people. It's just coming back to us. This is a situation coming back to purify our consciousness. But we're so short-sighted, we forget this. We think, oh, this person's the cause of my problems. If only you should change. You should not do this thing and not trigger my samskara because I want to stay comfortably in my illusion very nicely. I don't want to grow actually. I just want to be comfortable in the realm of illusion. And if you're triggering me, oh, big problem. You're the problem. I'm not the problem. We think like this. We're so short-sighted. So this Brahmana, he was very insightful. And then he says something which is very profound along the same train of thought. Humans, demigods, the soul, home, actions, and time are not the cause of my joy or sorrow. So other human beings, your brother, your mother, your sister, your wife, your boss, these are not the cause of your problems. And we may agree today, but just we'll go home, we'll have some fight, we go to work on Monday, we'll forget all of this and be like, oh, that person, oh, they caused me so much suffering. And if we then demigods, Mother Nature, oh, my house was flooded. The soul, home, our environment, actions, other people's motivations. These are not the cause of my joy or my sorrow. It is my mind, my own mind. Because whatever happens, it's just happening. But our mind, it gives a commentary to it. It tells a story about what's happening. And then we believe that story. Oh yes, mind, I believe you. And then because we believe that story, then we suffer. Because the mind is always painting some negative picture quite often. Oh, I'm the victim in this person, this situation, and so suffering actually happens at the level of mind. It doesn't happen outside. Yes, you may have some physical pain, etc., etc., but it's actually at the level of the mind, the shukshma sharira, the linga sharira, the subtle body. This is where the level of suffering happens. And when we die, when Atma leaves the Deha, the gross physical body, then it's often the Shukshma Sharira, which encompasses Manas, Buddhi and Ahankar. So these subtle, very, very fine material elements, they are part of the subtle body and they go along with the soul. And because the karmas, they are carried in the subtle bodies, that's how your karmas go with you. And so Bhakti Yoga is a process to actually detach your soul from your subtle body. So there's nothing there. No karmas can attach you anymore because karmas can't attach directly to the soul. But because the soul is attached to the subtle body, to the persona, to who I think I am, which is not actually me, it's just an idea, then the karmas are coming from lifetime to lifetime, then samsara, birth and death, birth and death, birth and death, like this. So this Brahmana, he's giving very profound insight into the Vedic metaphysics here. And so only the mind is the cause of joy and the cause of sorrow. One thing Gurudev says is we should also learn to tolerate our happiness, which sounds a bit strange, but we understand, I have to tolerate my suffering. But what if I win the lottery? And we should also understand this is also temporary. These things are just karma, coming up, coming down, coming up, coming down. And they are the greatest fools who uselessly quarrel, argue with others without conquering this enemy, the mind. No, the mind is the uncontrolled mind is the greatest enemy. But Krishna consciousness, it teaches you how to befriend your mind. And then when your mind is your friend, it is the greatest friend. Because now you can learn how to work with your mind to serve God. That's the actual purpose of the mind. Not to be engaging in all this ego, confusion, arguing, all these kinds of things. So, therefore, I will take refuge in the knowledge acquired from the great souls of the past and transcend this infinite and boundless ocean of ignorance by the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mama eva ye prabhyante taramitam tarantite. This ocean of samsara, it is impossible by your own effort to cross over this. You cannot get moksha from your own effort. It's not possible. But if you surrender to me, Krishna is saying, you serve him with love, then very easily he can just pluck you up out of this ocean. No problem for him. He can create millions and millions of universes without even blinking an eye. So how easy is it for him to just pick up one jiva from samsara? No problem for Krishna. And the Brahma Samhita said, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anade Adi Govinda Savakara Karanam. Krishna is Satchit Ananda Vigraha. He is the form of beauty, knowledge, eternity, in a form that's Krishna. God's not some formless space, ethereal like energy. He has a form, beautiful Krishna, dressed in yellow pitambar, curling locks, playing a flute. Krishna is so beautiful. Shama Sundar. So attractive. Krishna. There's no one in all of existence more attractive than Krishna. That's literally what his name means. So Krishna is so beautiful, and by serving him, very easily we can cross over this ocean of samsara. So our Goswamis, they're saying one should learn from the life of this Tridandi sannyasi, and those who are desiring to be dear to the public, to have some fame, some prestige, out of all the anarthas, of all the unwanted things in the heart, pride is very, very difficult to get over, to free ourselves from pride. And another thing we can learn from this brahmana is anutap, regret. Because, like as mentioned in here actually, bahyamukh. So Jiva Goswami in the Sandarbhas, Bhakti Sandarbha, he is saying Anarde Bahyamukh. And in the 11th canto of Bhagavatam, Krishna is saying Yuktasya Anadi Avidya. Since beginning, Anadi, time without beginning, we have been turned away from Krishna. And we've been in the cycle of samsara. There was no beginning point. Since eternity, we have been turned away from Krishna. But there's a possibility to get out of the samsara and go to Vaikuntha, go to the spiritual world. That's our true home. That's where we belong. And that is possible from devotion. By devotion to Bhagavan, we can cross over this ocean of samsara. So we're very, very fortunate to have evenings like this where we can come together, sing the names of the Lord, hear some Harikatha, take prasadam. All this purifies our consciousness, and then we can realize, oh, I'm Atma. I am not so-and-so from India, I am not so-and-so from Nepal, I am not so-and-so from New Zealand. These are just upadis. This is designation. This is not who we are. We are not male, we are not female, we are Atma. We have to realize this. And that Atma is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord Krishna. And because we are part and parcel, it is our dharma, our nitya dharma, our eternal dharma to serve Krishna, to serve Radha and Krishna. This is our nitya dharma. And another interesting point here, the demigods feel that devotees are surpassing their status and going beyond the world to Vaikuntha. So the demigods, they created problems for this brahmana when he was very rich. But also when you start to do bhakti, the demigods also can become jealous, and they'll make many, many problems. All throughout the Puranas, you see many times Indra, he sends Urvashi, Apsara, and so many people to disturb the samadhi of the rishis. Because when you become very, very powerful, by meditating on the Lord, the devatas, they become afraid, because devotion to God is so powerful. It is more powerful than any demigod, more powerful than Agnidev, more powerful than Surya, more powerful than Varuna. The devotees of the Lord are so powerful, but they don't have this egoic power that they want to control or anything like this. So the devatas, they become afraid, and they will send someone or some obstacle to try and break the samadhi, the devotion of the sages. But even the Buddha, on the eve of his enlightenment, Mara came and she was trying to disturb the samadhi of the Buddha, because Maya wants to keep you in illusion. Because Dur means difficult and Ga means go. It's very difficult to go from this realm of Durga. But actually Durga, she's the servant of Krishna. So when Durga sees that we are actually doing bhakti, then she becomes very, very favorable. And in the Krishna book, in the beginning of the Krishna book, is prayers by the Vedas personified to Krishna in the womb. All the Vedas, they're in personified forms praying to Krishna. Indra, he became jealous of Krishna and tried to send torrents of rain and flood all of Brajmandal. Brahma tried to steal the calves and steal the cows of Krishna. But then they realized, Krishna's para Brahma. So this Brahmana, he's saying, I should serve the Lord. And it's my great fortune that now I've realized this. But who is that Lord? And they think, is it Shiva? Is it Brahma? Is it Krishna? Is it Narayan? I don't know. Who is the Lord? Actually, there's only one Lord. But that one Lord, he has different avatars. Ram, Narayan. But avatari, the original avatari means the form of God from which all the different avatars are coming. The fountainhead, the ground of being from which all the different avatars are coming. That is Krishna. He's avatari. And Krishna has 4 qualities that no other avatar has. They are Rupa Madhurya. His form is so beautiful. So beautiful. The other one is Venu Madhurya. Lord Narayan's not playing a flute. Only Krishna plays the flute. The other one is Prema Madhurya. Krishna's loving pastimes. And then also Krishna's associates. So one time, perhaps Dravasa Muni. He's one Anksa, one manifestation of Shiva. So Dravasa Muni, he's still here on this planet. There's no pastime in the Puranas of him leaving. So he's here very quietly, just hanging out. So Dravasa Muni, he's a very volatile sage. He lives off durva grass. He has jata, long hair. And you'll see he cursed the whole Yadu dynasty, and the whole Yadu dynasty was annihilated from the curse of Dravasa Muni. And he gave one benediction to Krishna in Dwarka, and he covered himself in sweet rice, but he didn't cover himself on the sole of his foot. And so when it was time for Krishna to leave, he was shot in the foot by the hunter where he had not spread the sweet rice. So Dravasa Muni is very instrumental in the pastimes. And so one day Dravasa Muni, this manifestation of Shiva, he had heard the Supreme Lord is performing pastimes in Vrindavan, Bhumi. So Parabrahma, who the Upanishads mention, all the great sages that are worshipping, all the yogis that are in samadhi for thousands of years, just trying to get one little glance of the tips of the toes of Parabrahma. And that Parabrahma, he is here on earth performing pastimes like a child, stealing butter, stealing yogurt, going here and there. So Dravasa Muni, he thought, I want to go and have darshan of Parabrahma. So he made his way to Brajmandal, and he came to one forest, and he saw some children playing. And the children, they were wrestling. And 2 of those children, one was Madhu Mangal, and the other one was young Krishna. And they had a wrestling match, and then they couldn't decide who had won. And Krishna was saying, I have won, I have won. And Madhu Mangal, who's the original form of Narad Muni. Narad Muni is the Prakash, the expansion of Madhu Mangal. And so Madhu Mangal was saying, no, I have won, I have won. And then in the distance they saw one Rishi and thought, we'll go and ask that Rishi. He can decide who has won. So they went over, but Dravasa Muni, seeing Parabrahma in the form of a child, playing just like a natural human being, he was abut, shocked, astonished, and he sat down in samadhi with his jaw open. Because the yogis are meditating for thousands of years just to get one little glance of Narayan, let alone Parabrahma playing like Krishna. So he was in shock. He couldn't say anything. He was stumba, completely immobile. And then young Krishna and Madhumangal, they went up to this rishi. And, Durvasa, he cursed Samba. And from Samba, the whole eradication of the Yadu dynasty happened. So you should be careful when you're dealing with Durvasa Muni. And they went up, oh, tell us, Babaji, who won the wrestling match? Who won the wrestling match? But he couldn't say anything. He was just in shock. And then so they went up and they were pulling on his jata. Tell us, trying to bring him out of samadhi. But nothing was happening. And then they thought, this Baba's useless. And then they just walked away and they went playing. So how amazing is the position of Krishna, that he is the source, Sarvakara Karanam, the source of all spiritual and material worlds, the ultimate controller, the ingredient Upadan Karan and the Nimitta Karan, the cause of everything. But here in Braj Mandal, he's playing like an ordinary child, stealing butter off the gopis, meeting with Radharani in the forest, playing his flute, doing the rasa dance. So devotion to that Krishna, tarammitan tarantite, very easily you can cross over this ocean of existence, because he is avatari. He is the source of all other avatars, and all other avatars, they are serving Krishna. And Krishna, he's Rasa Vaisaha, just having fun, enjoying rasa. So, Hari Bol. Krishna Kanala Lala Ki Jai Jai Shri Radhe Sham.